Welcome to Maneuvering Monday. My name is AK and I'm one of your hosts. This is a summary video of what happens in the first 3 chapters of the book and the first 2 episodes of chapter 4, so you're ready to listen to the rest of chapter 4 without having to listen to everything from the beginning. So, very briefly, in the first chapter of the book we meet Marie. Marie is the head of development HR in the edtech company Zebra Apps, and recently a lot of people are resigning from Zebra Apps, and the CEO, Natalie, tasks Marie with finding out why this is happening. Marie benchmarks the competition, and she shares with Natalie and the VP of HR, Mark, that the only differentiating factor that Zebra Apps does not offer is free soda. Marie talks to a previous colleague, Anne, because she's trying to find out why people are leaving Zebra Apps, and she learns that Zebra Apps could have offered one of their remote learning system products to displace children and teachers of Ukraine without an extra cost, but they chose not to do that. She also reads exit interviews, and she learns that most of the employees actually mentioned that during the past year something happened or something changed in the company. And during that time, the company grew a lot on the sales side. The VP of HR goes behind Marie's back, and he promises Natalie that Marie will launch a culture program to fix this retention issue. In the second chapter, Marie and her team takes on developing the culture program, and we meet a lot of more of the characters in the story. Marie discovers in this chapter that Natalie actually did define a mission statement and company values when she founded the company, but that all of this was actually mysteriously disappearing from the introduction deck. Mark has soda fridges installed in Zebra Apps, but he does admit in this chapter to Marie that he knows this will not fix or solve the retention issue, and that he was actually the one to take out the values from the intro deck because he didn't think they resonated with the reality of the company. Marie also learns that the co-founder of the company, Richard, left the company when Zebra Apps got into cash flow problems, and now he's joining their main competitor as a CTO. The third chapter begins with a sugar mystery because all of the sugar packets mysteriously disappear from the tables in the canteen. And one day during lunch hour in the canteen, all of the tables are suddenly covered in sugar, and a banner unfolds from the stairwell reading, "You have sugar on your hands." Marie and Eric try to solve this mystery of who's behind this rebellion and why, and they learn from one of the new companies, Shane, who was recently headhunted from a competing company, Convo Systems. They learn from him that he actually recently shared his salary with his colleagues in the engineering department, and that the salary he makes is twice the salary of the rest of the team. Marie confronts the VP of HR, Mark, about these salary differences, and Mark indicates that it's not a problem, and that the specific employee who had a reaction to this, Willie, that he's loyal to Zebra Apps, so it's not a problem that there's a salary disparity. And towards the end of the chapter, Willie does admit that he was the one who was in charge of the sugar stunt, but instead of punishing him, Marie talks to Mark about giving Willie a salary raise, or at least do what they can to try to even out the salary disparity. So that's chapter 3. In the fourth chapter, which we're in now, Mark, Marie, and their third colleague, the head of HR operations, Paul, they spend a full day off-site with the purpose of solving their department's dysfunctions. And even though there's a lot of tension on this day, Paul does agree to join Marie's arranged HR breakfasts if he gets to bake the cinnamon buns. And during this day, Marie also finds out from Paul and Mark that Anne was actually not voluntarily resigning from Zebra Apps, but she was fired because she was not contributing to the harmony of the company. And also they tell Marie to be careful with engaging with Anne because she might not have Marie's or Zebra App's best interest in mind. In this chapter, we also get closer to the engineering department, which is led by Jenny. And we learn that the engineers in Zebra Apps, they've actually abandoned their physical whiteboards, and now they're doing virtual stand-ups, and they're just sitting silently and coding behind their desks or behind their PC screens. We also learned that Zebra App's star product Aslo is suffering from quality issues, and that the VP of Engineering, Jenny, is desperate because she's under so much pressure from the CEO, Natalie. And eventually she convinces this employee, Shane, who had the very high salary, to actually lower his salary to the level of the other engineers. And she does this to try to make things better in the department and motivate the remaining employees. But when they communicate it to the full department, the crowd actually makes an uproar and they start throwing bottles at Jenny. And this leads to Marie fainting, and she's forced by Mark to go on a sick leave for a few days. And during those days, Marie is approached by one of the previous colleagues, the UX designer Jason, who wants to rejoin Zebra Apps because he believes there's hope after Marie has started working on the retention issue. And this is where we're at right now, before the final section of chapter 4, which is what you're about to listen to or read right now. And that's it. You're now ready. Thank you for listening.